Hi there, thanks so much for joining us. I'm Courtney Friel from KTLA. It is my honor and pleasure to virtually welcome law enforcement officers, prosecutors, officials, and esteemed guests to the annual MADD Law Enforcement and Prosecutor Recognition Virtual Awards. This event is designed to recognize the outstanding work of law enforcement professionals in DUI enforcement and prosecutors who work hard to hold these offenders accountable for their actions. Each arrest is a potential life saved, and MADD awards their service as they dedicate their lives to keeping our roads safer. For over 40 years, Mothers Against Drunk Driving has been the nation's leader in an unwavering fight against this 100% preventable crime by changing the apathetic culture surrounding drinking and driving. Since 1980, highway deaths caused by drunk driving crashes have been cut in half. Consequently, this success has created a misconception that drunk driving is no longer a major issue. However, this is not the case. Drunk driving crashes remain a major cause of death and injuries on America's highways, with over 10,000 fatalities and 290,000 injuries annually, all of which are preventable. Here in California, there are just under 1,000 DUI-related deaths annually. Drunk and drug driving comes with a cost, and it is one that robs us of mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, spouses, and friends. With the help of those who want a safer future, in 2006, MADD launched its campaign to eliminate drunk driving to end this danger on American roads. The campaign to eliminate drunk driving will get this nation to 0 deaths through equal parts prevention and invention. Unfortunately, throughout this difficult last year, fatal drunk driving crashes have spiked across the United States, leaving many lives altered forever. MADD continues to provide free services to victims and families of drunk and drugged driving and educational programs to discourage underage drinking. Programs and services are even being offered virtually to maintain and increase awareness and prevention. But MADD cannot do this without the help and support of people like you. And that's why we've created the $5 Challenge. The $5 Challenge is a giving campaign designed to raise additional funds to help victims of DUI crashes. Please join us in the $5 Challenge and the One MADD California Giving Campaign. Funds raised through the One MADD California will go toward the organization's victim services and research-based programs to continue their goal of no more victims. Statewide supporters can donate via phone or online. MADD's mission and focus to create a world of no more victims has not wavered over the years and remains the same today. These tragic deaths and injuries continue to drive our efforts to end drunk driving, help fight drug driving, support the victims of these violent crimes, and prevent underage drinking. I'd like to congratulate all of the honorees: law enforcement officers with impressive DUI arrests, diligent prosecutors who work hard for victims and victim rights, and our strong, passionate volunteers. MADD could not accomplish what we do without your help, so we appreciate all law enforcement, prosecutors, and the community as they are natural partners with us in this effort. At this time, the presentation of colors will be presented by the California Highway Patrol Special Honors Detail.
Detail, attend, hut, forward, march. Mark, time, march. Detail, halt. Ready, face. Present arms.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts hearts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Face. Forward. March.
At this time, we would like to present comments from the MADD National President, Mrs. Alex Otte.
Hi, my name is Alex Otte, and I'm the National President of Mothers Against Drunk Driving. It's an honor to congratulate you on this recognition and to say thank you for the work that you do to keep our roads safe from drunk drivers. Some people say that they generally understand the contributions law enforcement make to our communities. Others still will say that while they may not understand, they appreciate the work that you do to keep them and their families safe. I want to tell you that not only do I understand and appreciate it, I'm married to it. My husband, Zach, is a special victims detective in our home of Lexington, Kentucky. In fact, my two giant dogs are named Sheriff and Sergeant. I say this to tell you from the very beginning that when I say thank you and that I understand the work that you do, you know that I live alongside of it every single day. I came to MADD for the same reason many people do. I was run over by a drunk driver when I was 13. On July 2nd, 2010, I was sitting still on a jet ski behind my dad's house on Lake Harrington. There was a 17-foot bass boat coming under a nearby bridge, and I did what I always knew to do. I gave my mom a thumbs up to let her know I saw him coming and I wasn't going to move. The boat was headed towards my mom and my brother. He banked it to the left and never straightened up. The boat hit me from the side going over 60 miles per hour, threw me off the jet ski, went up over the jet ski. I landed face down in the water and the boat came down on top of my body. I sustained, among many other injuries, a severe traumatic brain injury classified as shaken baby syndrome, a broken neck, and the loss of my right leg. The man who ran me over had multiple prior DUI offenses. 2.5 hours after the crash, he was 3 times over legal limit. I knew soon after the crash that I wanted to be the last little girl that this ever happened to. 11 years later, I know that I wasn't. I also know that because of law enforcement efforts to get drunk drivers off of our roads and waterways, more little girls make it home. As I said before, I married into law enforcement life. I understand what it is that you do and the sacrifices that you and your families make. I also know the frustration of diligently doing your job when the laws don't always treat drunk driving like the dangerous and deadly crime that it is. I appreciate how hard it is for law enforcement to continue to take people off the water and the roads, only to see them go out and do it again. Even when it's frustrating, please know that every single moment a drunk driver spends off of our roads and off of our waterways was a moment that might have saved someone's life. Many of you see victims of drunk driving on the absolute worst days of their lives, and you don't get to see what happens after. I'm what happens after. I'm the kid you saved because you took a drunk driver off the road or off the water. Maybe you can't imagine the lives that people will lead because you were there, but I can. I hope that by hearing my story, you have the same perspective that my husband has. There's a reason we have to get drunk drivers off the roads, and it's not just because it's our job. Congratulations again on your much-deserved recognition, and thank you so much for having me.
A welcome now from California State Executive Director Patricia Riera.
Greetings and welcome to our 2021 Virtual Law Enforcement Recognition event. We are so happy you could join us. My name is Patricia Riera. I am the California State Executive Director for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. MADD California wishes to take this time to acknowledge distinguished individuals who change lives one day at a time. Your experiences, expertise, and dedication are invaluable resources to our business model. Therefore, it is MADD California's honor to host and recognize you today. Please accept this recognition as a small token of our appreciation for the risk you take daily to keep our roads safe from impaired drivers, and for the laws you enforce on behalf of victims as prosecutors. You are truly an essential and valuable part of the MADD family. Last year, 2020, was a very difficult year for MADD California, as I'm sure it was for most. We bravely dealt with the COVID-19 pandemic, and then we were saddened when millions of people around the country took to the streets protesting police violence and racial inequality after the death of George Floyd. The alleged accusations of racial disparities by some law enforcement disturbed us most because we know how closely MADD California works with law enforcement on a daily basis. We are always alarmed when we hear allegations of officers acting outside the policies set by agencies we work with. MADD does not condone the use of unnecessary force in any situation and counts on leadership within our partner agencies to handle these situations fairly and justly. However, despite the challenges presented in 2020, MADD staff and volunteers delivered MADD's core programs and services virtually throughout California, all of which are free of charge to the public. These volunteer-based programs include, but are not limited to, victim advocacy, underage drinking prevention programs, community engagement, and the campaign to eliminate drunk and drugged driving. At its core, MADD provides services to victims and families of drunk and drug driving crashes at no cost. Successfully lobby to support stronger drunk driving laws, deliver underage drinking prevention strategies to thousands of teens, and we are single-handedly responsible for changing the apathetic culture surrounding drinking and driving. Impaired driving continues to be a leading cause of deaths and injuries in our country. We applaud you today and throughout the year for your dedication to making our roadways safer. To all the MADD California honorees, congratulations, and thank you for all you do for MADD.
Next, opening remarks from Georgina Avilés, Senior Program Manager for MADD Southern California.
Thank you for joining MADD's 2021 Law Enforcement and Prosecutor Recognition Virtual Awards. My name is Georgina Avilés, Senior Program Manager for MADD Southern California. Today we are here to honor heroes, hardworking men and women of law enforcement and prosecutors who work diligently to remove drunk and drug drivers from our roadways. Despite the recent pandemic, we at MADD want to make sure we thank you, and it's our pleasure to honor you. This past year, fatal crashes involving alcohol were up 9% compared to 2019, even as vehicle miles traveled fell by 13%. This is according to preliminary estimates of crash fatalities involving all road users released by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Without the vital work you do, these numbers would be much more devastating. Law enforcement represents the first prong of our campaign to end drunk driving, the high visibility of law enforcement. The number of arrests reported in 2020 from Los Angeles, Orange, San Bernardino, Riverside, and the Tri-Counties area were a combined total of 22,189. So once again, thank you for all your efforts to keep our roadways safe. Sadly, drunk and drug driving continues to be a leading cause of death and injuries on our nation's roadways. MADD will not stop until drunk driving does, because that one empty seat at the table is just one too many. With your help, we will arrive at our destination of 0 deaths and injuries. Together, we will see our dream come true of no more victims. If you or someone you know has been impacted by a drunk or drug driver, contact MADD's 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MADD-HELP. At this time, I would like to thank officers and deputies from the following police departments in the local city of Downey, Los Angeles, Rialto, Oxnard, San Bernardino, Palm Springs, Port Hueneme, Ventura, the California Highway Patrol, and the Sheriff's Department out of the County of Los Angeles, Orange, Riverside, San Bernardino, and Ventura. These departments, along with our local DAs and prosecutors, are actively volunteering at MADD victim impact panels as guest speakers, along with collaborating with MADD's underage drinking prevention workshops and MADD's signature event, Walk Like MADD, in their local community. I would like to take a moment to thank MADD Southern California sponsors, Uber, Association for Los Angeles Deputy Sheriffs, and the Automobile Club of Southern California. On behalf of MADD, congratulations to all the honorees. We could not accomplish what we do without law enforcement and the prosecutors who try these cases. Your efforts validate that you care about our vision to eliminate drunk and drug driving crashes. It is our honor to acknowledge your efforts in saving lives, and we are looking forward to seeing you at next year's event. Thank you.
Next up, Mike Fior with the Los Angeles City Attorney's Office would like to share a few words.
I'm delighted to be with you all for the annual MADD California Law Enforcement Recognition Awards. I've been just so pleased to be with you in person in previous years. This year it's virtual, but nonetheless exceptionally important. Throughout my career as a Los Angeles City Council member, state legislator, and now as LA City Attorney, I have so appreciated the close relationship and the tremendous support of MADD. Mothers Against Drunk Driving changed the national landscape after its founding to fight the crisis of drunk driving. It was MADD with whom I worked so closely on my bill in the California Assembly to place ignition interlock devices in automobiles, which was signed into law. As city attorney, I've been so pleased to join with MADD to conduct public awareness campaigns on drunk and drugged driving during the holidays. And with the increase of cannabis use, we've made it clear that driving under the influence of cannabis is against the law. Each year, my office prosecutes thousands of drunk and drug driving cases, but it's been steadily declining over the last several years, and that is a testament to your leadership and hard work. You're making a real difference. Enjoy today's festivities, and I look forward to being with you in person next year.
And at this time, I'd like to introduce James Wheeler, president of the Association for the Los Angeles Deputy Sheriffs.
Hello, my name is James Wheeler, president of the Association for Los Angeles Deputy Sheriffs. Welcome to the Mothers Against Drunk Driving Law Enforcement Recognition Awards. Mothers Against Drunk Driving has been helping save lives for more than 40 years. I am proud to be associated with this organization and all the good work they do in our communities. This year, due to COVID-19, MADD decided to turn this program into a virtual event to keep us all safe. Today is the first of a week-long series of award programs conducted by MADD throughout the state. MADD asks you to join these meaningful virtual events and to take a stand against drunk driving. During this challenging and difficult period, the organization continues to provide free services to victims and families of drunk and drug driving and programs to discourage underage drinking. But MADD cannot do this without the help and support of people like you. Please join us in the $5 challenge and a giving campaign. Funds raised through what is called #OneMaddCalifornia will go towards the organization's research-based programs to continue their goal, which is to keep our roadways safe. Impaired driving is one of the deadliest crimes in this country, accounting for more than 10,000 traffic-related deaths in 2018 alone. We're glad to stand with this grassroots organization, and we encourage you to use prevention strategies and ride-sharing options to end impaired driving. Each arrest is a life saved, and MADD awards the service service of our men and women who dedicate their lives to keeping this road safe. Thank you, MADD, for all that you do.
Next up, Chief Michael Moore with the Los Angeles Police Department would like to share a few words.
I want to take a moment and say thank you to California MADD Association for today's recognition of 63 men and women of LAPD for their work in preventing drunk drivers by going out and finding those that drive impaired and that result in so many needless deaths across not only here in LA City, but the state of California and the United States. 2019, more than 10,000 people lost their lives needlessly to drunk driving here in the United States, 969 of them here in California. It's the efforts of our men and women on the front lines going out each night and each day and identifying and bringing before the criminal justice system those that drive while impaired that saves lives, that makes a difference in so many ways. So in closing, again, thank you, MADD California, for recognizing the outstanding work of our men and women, for their dedication and their vigilance in going out and doing everything possible to keep our city streets safe.
Thank you so much to all our city officials. We are honored to have your county stand with MADD. Now we will tell you a story that MADD knows all too well. We begin with our mission moment and the reason why MADD was founded and exists today, to honor and serve victims and survivors. Introducing Faith Heath as the honorary victim speaker.
January 19th, 2014, that was the day that changed my family's life. I have twin daughters, Jaya and Lasia, who were in the back seat, and I had my youngest stepson, Darius, and I was driving, and my husband, Dante Heath, was in the front seat. Dante had fallen asleep because it was a little after 10 o'clock, I believe. It was a late night for us. Dante had preached a church service, and we were picking up some things from my brother-in-law's house at that time, and we were just on our way home. And we were rear-ended at that stop sign, and that hit was the impact was so forceful. No matter how hard I pressed on the brakes, we were still being pushed. And at one point, I stopped trying to stop the car and decided to check on my daughters because I was in so much pain. And when I looked behind me, both of my daughters were almost face down because the trunk of the car was crushed in and they were almost upside down. Both of them were crying. So I grabbed her out of her car seat at that time, and she got into my arms and she was crying, and she looked into my eyes. But as soon as she looked in my eyes, she stopped crying and her eyes just rolled back. And at that point, I gave her to my husband, and I tried to get my other daughter out of her car seat. And during this time, so many people came to help us. And I called them all my angels because they came from out of nowhere. We were on a dark street, but that street was so full when everyone started to come out and help us. And then the first responder came and opened my husband's door because we couldn't open my door. He opened my husband's door and he took my daughter. My husband says, I think she's knocked out. And he says, can you help her? And he grabbed her and he didn't say anything. He says, we're gonna take her to get help. My son and myself were stuck in the car and they had to use the jaws of life to get us out. And they told me I couldn't go to the hospital where my daughters were going to because they were full. So they took me to an entirely different hospital. So by the time I got to the hospital, they strapped me in. They were asking about my pain. And I felt pain, but I couldn't feel much because I was so worried about my daughters. And then at that point, a chaplain came in by the time they gave me some pain medication, the chaplain came in. I'm like, why are you here? He says, well, the other hospital communicated that we should have a chaplain come and speak with you. And at this point, I had no idea what was going on with my daughter at the other hospital. But they're gonna send a helicopter and they're gonna take her to Madeira. And I said, okay. And then I got my other twin, Jaya. And I'm holding her, and she was like, she had no mark on her, which is a miracle from God. And I grab her and I'm holding her, and I'm waiting for the doctors to come, because they had to send a whole team from Madeira to transport my daughter back. So when they get there, the doctor that flew in, I said, take care of my baby. He said, she's my baby now, and I will take care of her for you. And I'll see you when you get there. When we finally made it to the Children's Hospital, the doctor, she meets me, a different doctor. She meets us and she says, can you just tell me what happened? I was like, told her everything about the accident. And she says, the other baby? I said, she's right here. She was like, well, she just couldn't believe how one twin who was right next to her was unscathed and one was in such severe shape. And she says, I said, is she gonna be okay? She says, I can't promise you that she'll make it through the night, but we're gonna do our best. My daughter lived 2 days after that. She passed January 22nd, 2014. She was exactly 6 months. She was born July 22nd, 2013. We were introduced to Carla from Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and she assisted us through the entire walk, the entire process, from what to expect in court. She walked with us the entire way. As soon as we walked in court, we had Carla on our left side, and we had Officer Jared Dietrich on our right. And when I say he's an angel, he is an angel. He was like a God-sent guardian angel to my family and I. Wherever we were, he was. And without all of their support and all of their protection and them coming to our aid, I know without a shadow of a doubt that we wouldn't be here today. The anniversary of my daughter's death is always hard, but it always brings me peace knowing that we have such a great team with our Kern County law enforcement, all law enforcement, our court system that has a special dedicated team to fight against this crime of drunk driving. We have Mothers Against Drunk Driving and wonderful advocates like Carla to help us and to come to our aid. It's just so reassuring, and I just thank God for all of them. And I always tell my husband, when someone is running from gunshots and from these type of accidents, the police officers are running to it, and God has given them such a special heart to go after and to seek justice. And I will always be thankful, and they will always be in my prayers, because the fight that they fight is greater than one of many. And I just want to say thank you to all law enforcement. Thank you to Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and thank you to just all of those who came to our aid during this time. And God bless you all.
Thank you, Faith, for sharing your family's tragic story. As we transition to our next presenters, please note, by donating to #OneMaddCalifornia, you can help MADD create a future with no more victims. Currently, critical funds are needed to continue MADD California's underage drinking prevention programs and victim services. Statewide supporters can participate in the $5 challenge and donate via phone or online. At this time, we will begin our awards ceremony. For many victims of DUI crashes, their experience in court is oftentimes their first encounter with the criminal justice system. The fear of the unknown, combined with the reality of their loss and devastation, can be overwhelming. However, there is a team dedicated in bringing justice to many DUI cases, and it is my pleasure to announce this year's Prosecutor of the Year Award. From the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office, the honor goes to Deputy District Attorney Eubin Hernandez. And from the Los Angeles City Attorney's Office, the honor goes to Deputy City Attorney Adam McHale. A round of virtual applause for this year's Prosecutor of the Year recipients. For officers whose official responsibilities include so much more than DUI enforcement, arresting dangerous drivers with such consistency is remarkable, and diligent prosecutors who work hard for victims and victim rights. For our first awards, we have the Deuce awardees with up to 49 DUI arrests. A round of virtual applause for all our Deuce awardees here shown on the screen. Up next, we have the MADD Awards allotted to those law enforcement officers with 50 to 99 DUI arrests. A round of virtual applause for our MADD awardees shown on the screen. Next, we have our Century Award recipients. These were officers with 100 or more DUI arrests in 2020. Please give a virtual round of applause for our Century Award winners.
LASD, Lancaster Station, Deputy Nestor Garcia, 185 arrests. Palmdale Station, Deputy James Connolly, 165 arrests. Malibu Lost Hill Station, Deputy Eric Treadway, 123 arrests. LAPD, Valley Traffic, Officer Salvador Torres, 164 arrests. Officer Joseph Gall, 100 arrests. Officer Alex DeWeber, 100 arrests. Central Traffic, Officer Zachary Stauber, 167 arrests. Officer Jose Pletes, 129 arrests. Officer Kenneth Chan, 112 arrests. West Traffic, Officer Daniel Shinjo, 159 arrests. Officer Diego Aguilar, 126 arrests. Officer Christian Sanchez, 111 arrests. Officer Christopher Delaney, 109 arrests. Officer Engelbert Castaneda, 108 arrests. Officer Ian Wong, 103 arrests.
Now we have our Double Century Award recipients. These were officers with 200 or more DUI arrests in 2020. Please give a virtual round of applause for our Double Century Award winners shown on the screen.
LAPD, Valley Traffic, Officer Eric Holtz, 303 arrests. Officer Christopher Carr, 250 arrests. Officer Deshaun Parker, 250 arrests. Officer Daryl Blackhall, 226 arrests. Officer Jeremy Miller, 218 arrests.
We will now award the top arresting officers from each department. A round of virtual applause for our top arresting officers from each department here shown on the screen.
Bell PD, Officer Javier Avila, 27 arrests. Beverly Hills PD, Officer James Krug and Officer Christopher Smith Jordan, 14 arrests. Burbank PD, Officer Rory Timlin, 43 arrests. CHP, Altadena, Officer Justin Silva, 44 arrests. Antelope Valley, Officer David Jackson, 73 arrests. Baldwin Park, Officer Sergio Garcia, 49 arrests. Central LA, Officer Richard Yebra, 54 arrests. East LA, Officer Michael Eshelman, 66 arrests. Newhall, Officer Deontay Hall, 58 arrests. Santa Fe Springs, Officer Keegan Beavers, 44 arrests. South LA, Officer Alex Cisneros, 50 arrests. West Valley, Officer Alexis Magana, 73 arrests. Claremont PD, Officer William Livingston, 34 arrests. Covina PD, Officer Garrett Hagel, 26 arrests. Culver City PD, Officer Robert Garrido, 11 arrests. Downey PD, Officer Patrick Skill, 26 arrests. El Segundo PD, Officer Michael Drohan, 16 arrests. Gardena PD, Investigator Jose Zamudio and Officer Evan Jackson, 36 arrests. Glendora PD, Officer Danny Muad, 25 arrests. Hawthorne PD, Officer Santos Jimenez, 40 arrests. Hermosa Beach PD, Officer Kurt Mateko, 10 arrests. Inglewood PD, Officer Eric Quintanar, 51 arrests. La Palma PD, Officer Andrew Kim, 6 arrests. Laverne PD, Officer Timothy Lopez, 6 arrests. Long Beach PD, Officer Andrew Fox, 43 arrests. LA Airport PD, Officer Victor Harrell, 63 arrests. LASD, Century Station, Deputy Jacob Mille, 41 arrests. Industry Station, Deputy Kyle Anderson, 26 arrests. Lancaster Station, Deputy Nestor Garcia, 185 arrests. Malibu Lost Hill Station, Deputy Eric Treadway, 123 arrests. Norwalk Station, Deputy Frank Montoya, 30 arrests. Palmdale Station, Deputy James Conley, 165 arrests. San Dimas Station, Deputy Deborah Ikitani, 50 arrests. Santa Clarita Station, Deputy Mario Acosta, 70 arrests. LAPD, Central Traffic, Officer Zachary Stauber, 167 arrests. Foothill, Officer Robert Sheerock, 26 arrests. South Traffic, Officer Tam Doe, 63 arrests. Valley Traffic, Officer Eric Holtz, 303 arrests. West Traffic, Officer Daniel Shinjo, 159 arrests. Monrovia PD, Officer Joshua Granger, 17 arrests. Montebello PD, Corporal Christopher Tinney, 13 arrests. Monterey Park PD, Officer Rick Artmani, 9 arrests. Pasadena PD, Officer Veronica Burris and Officer Alonzo Gonzalez, 8 arrests. Pomona PD, Officer Garrett Dulong, 82 arrests. San Fernando PD, Officer Brittany Nahara, 28 arrests. San Gabriel PD, Officer Kevin Yamada, 36 arrests. San Marino PD, Officer Jason Richardson, 4 arrests. Sierra Madre PD, Officer Carolyn Jaramillo, 2 arrests. Signal Hill PD, Officer Adrian Jimenez, 19 arrests. Southgate PD, Officer Arturo Macias, 11 arrests. South Pasadena PD, Officer Timothy Kim, 11 arrests. Torrance PD, Officer Raymond Johnson, 52 arrests. West Covina PD, Officer Adam Sinchner, 25 arrests. Whittier PD, Officer Emmanuel Gamino, 19 arrests.
And it is now time to honor the top arresting officer from Los Angeles County. Please join me in virtually applauding and viewing comments from our top arresting officers. With 303 arrests, Officer Eric Holtz with the Los Angeles Police Department Valley Traffic Division.
Hi, my name is Eric Holtz, and I'm a police officer for the city of Los Angeles for 26 years. For the past 10 years, I've been assigned to the DUI enforcement program on a motor. I wanted to thank MADD for their program dealing with teen drinking and driving and their continued support of law enforcement on our efforts to end impaired driving. I stand with One MADD California to end impaired driving. Thank you for your time.
Congratulations to all the honorees. And we have one special thank you from MADD California victims and volunteers.
Enforcement, today is your day. Although I know and I recognize that one day is not enough to thank you all for your hard work and dedication that you provide on the front lines, I want you to know that we recognize that behind that badge is a person with a huge heart. For me, the moment that I lived may have ruined my past, still lives in my present, but I refuse to let it touch our future. This land is my land, this land is your land, and I thank you and honor each and every one of you for risking your lives, especially throughout these challenging times. With that being said, congratulations to you all, and I hope we can meet again. Bye.
For the last decade, I have tried to do my part as a MADD victim impact speaker. I am so grateful to law enforcement for doing more than their part, patrolling roadways at their own peril to keep us safe from drunk drivers. Thank you.
Thank you, law enforcement, for all of your hard work and dedication to eliminating drunk driving. For victims like myself, I appreciate all of your hard work and keep the world a safer place.
We'd like to say a great big thank you to law enforcement and to the prosecutors for helping keeping our highways and roads safe. Thank you.
In memory of Chunky and Sonia, we would like to thank you all for your continued dedication to help keep impaired drivers off the road.
Hi, my name is Lily, founder of Street Racing Kills. I just want to thank today all the officers and district attorneys for making it a better world, and better, safer for everyone. Thank you so much for all you do as advocates for safe streets and as volunteers as well, and just regular people, Angelinos here, walking on our streets, driving every day. You really are making a difference. So again, thank you, officers and district attorneys, for making our world a better place to live in. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is all the awards we have for today. We want to thank all of our sponsors, supporters, volunteers, MADD staff, community leaders, and most of all, law enforcement officers and prosecutors who protect our roadways day in and day out. We created a social movement of One MADD California. It's a tribute to MADD's success in the traffic safety arena and the grassroots organization that started the cultural revolution that made drunk driving unacceptable. We ask communities to stand with MADD for #NoMoreVictims. This is a necessary opportunity to raise precious funds for the victim and community services MADD provides. As mentioned, these services are victim advocacy for victims and survivors of drunk and drugged driving crashes, underage drinking prevention education for parents and teens, and working with law enforcement and/or legislators to eliminate impaired driving. MADD California staff and volunteers travel all over the Southern California region, delivering these valuable services, all of which are free of charge to the public. Statewide supporters can support One MADD California via phone or online. Additionally, your program books are digitally available on the site, and the event will continuously be available through this site at MADD California on the Facebook and YouTube pages for your family and friends to view. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.